wanted to talk a little bit today about the Expanse Osiris Reborn. That's a game that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. We had a small discussion about that game a few months ago when I kind of got my eyes on it. It was first announced. They had this announcement trailer. And like I said at the time, I'm very intrigued by that game. I'm very intrigued by the game, by the vibe, by the story. The Expanse is something that I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm like a massive fan of and I've known about it for so long. I heard about the Expanse when the TV show was out, but I never actually saw it. So I started thinking to myself, I would love to get into this world. And so I played Telltale's The Expanse when it first released. I jumped into it. I had never played the games before, and it was something very different and fun, and I really enjoyed it. And to learn more about it, I jumped into the TV show, and I ended up watching the first 2 seasons. I haven't finished it yet, but it was very, very good. Specifically, that first season was awesome. And so when I heard about the Expanse, Osiris Reborn, this like RPG, more realistic, bigger world, I thought to myself, this is something very fucking interesting. This is something that really gets my attention and I want to see more of. So I started following it. I started following some of the developer interviews and checking out some of the YouTube videos that they've put out, kind of expanding a little bit more about the game and the world. And so yesterday, which would basically be Thursday, the new Game Plus showcase came out where it gave some the spotlight to some smaller developers, smaller teams, and some games that maybe aren't gonna get shown at the TGAs, for example. And so one of those games there was the Expanse Osiris Reborn, and they had a developer interview. They talked a little bit more about the game and kind of what they're doing and what their hopes are for this story. Now, I thought it was really cool, and they talked a little bit about some planets that you can visit, some traversal through the solar system, which really got me going. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it really got me going because I'm like, dude, I love that solar system kind of exploration deep in space. That shit sounds really cool to me. It just does, all right? And one thing that they talked about is that you could visit a few planets, and some of these planets are going to have like hubs, and they're gonna be where you can kind of sit down and have a drink and talk to people, buy clothes, buy gear. That just sounded awesome, right? First of all, you get to create your character. You get to choose between a male and a female, and you get to design him or her in whatever way you want. You get to choose their facial features, and then you get to buy clothes for them, and then you get to shop for weaponry. That sounds fun. You also get to choose from different play styles, whether you want to be a sniper, or you want to be a mechanic, or you want to be an engineer. That type of shit is cool because it tailors the experience very differently. Now, they also stated in this interview that the decisions that you make will affect the story. They will affect even some of your crew member to die. And that's really insane. It's very intense. The world of the Expanse, from what I know, from what I've learned, is very, very dangerous. And there's shit creeping around the corner all the time. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. But it's bad shit. So the fact that we're going to get a deeper look at that is really good. Something that they also touched on, which here on the channel, I guess we talk a little bit about, especially when you look at dispatch and other stuff, but there's going to be romance options too, which I think is something very interesting and very fun to look at, because you get to choose, if your character romances somebody or falls in love, or maybe hits and quits. I don't know. I guess you'll get to see. Obviously, the romance options are very fun. They add a little extra layer to the game. And so that's something else that they touched on, which I think is going to be something that a lot of fans are probably going to enjoy and like. When you're playing these type of games and you're doing an RPG and you have like full control of your character, full control of where you visit, your actions actually affect the game and the story itself. It's fun to also include romance options because it kind of feels like this world is real. It kind of feels like this world is you're actually a part of it. You're actually living in it. And I don't know, that's the beauty of some video games, especially like that type of RPG. Now, I'm not I'm not going to say that I'm not a massive fan of RPG games, but I do like them a lot. But I don't play them as often because sometimes they're so big and they take a lot of my time that it's a little difficult. But I've been craving a heavy duty or cool RPG where I'm put in a new world. Like, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, man, I wish I could play a game where I get thrown into a brand new world. It's like an RPG. I get to make some choices that actually affect it. I don't know, maybe some medieval stuff, maybe some futuristic stuff. Like I was really wanting to kind of see what was out there so we could cover it on the channel and talk about some new stuff. But I couldn't really find anything specifically. Something else that really caught my eye too was The Dawn of the Blood Walker, I think it's called. So I looked a little bit at that, but obviously it's not out yet. It also came out during this developer interview. They had some conversations with them. But the Expanse Osiris Reborn was the one that I was looking forward to the most. I remember when they announced that they were going to be a part of the show, I was like, yeah, definitely got to be in there. They mentioned that the game is going to be taking place during the first 3 books. Now, what does that mean to me? I don't really know, but I do remember them stating that it was going to kind of intertwine or have some sort of crossover with the events that were happening during the TV show, which I think were the first season event and the second season event. This game seems to be very in line timeline-wise to what season 1 was. For example, that's what I'm seeing, dealing with the blue stuff. I can't remember the name because it's been a minute since I saw the Expanse. It's been like a year now. But I'm going to get back on it, I swear to God, because I want to like get back into the world and the feeling and the vibe before jumping into the Expanse Osiris Reborn. Something else that's also very interesting, on the Epic Games Store, they did an interview on December 15, 2015, and it was by Franz J. Ruiz. And they talked a little bit more to them about some of the stuff that the Expanse Osiris Reborn was trying to do. Now, one of the developers over at Owlcat Games stated that this game is about narrative. They make RPG choices matter. They've crafted and they have this choices and consequence system, and that's something that they're going to lean heavily on. So the fact that the stuff that we're going to be doing in the Expanse Osiris Reborn is going to matter throughout the entire story, and lives are going to be affected and outcomes are going to be affected, really piques my interest, really grabs me. It's honestly one of my most anticipated games, to be honest. I am dying to get my hands on this, and having a newer look at it during the developer interview at the Game Plus showcase, I was like, wow. I was blown away like once or twice by seeing how good it looks. Like just the areas, the environment, your character kind of walking, and you get to see how the world looks around him. It looks so lively. It looks so good. It also reminded me a little bit of the Guardians of the Galaxy game, because that was also very similar. So I'm excited for that, man. Honestly, the game just looks so damn cool. They also talked a little bit about their experience working on Unreal Engine, stating that it's a very well-suited engine for third-person shooters. He says that Unreal offers a lot of mechanics and solutions out of the box, which allowed them to quickly put together a third-person shooter prototype to test how the game was going to feel and flow. And this is, again, the developer, one of the developers at Owlcat Games, talking about his experiences working on the Expanse Osiris Reborn. Now, during that interview with Epic Games, they also talk a little bit more about the cinematic and the story approach that they're going to be taking. And they said that they're going to lean heavily on cutscenes, which I think is really cool, to be honest, because I enjoy a game that tells a story like that. That's why when I'm playing some of the Call of Duty stories and we have really good cutscenes that actually contribute to what's going on in the level, I think that makes it a little bit better. So he goes on to say here during the interview that they're going to be pushing for a more detailed and cinematic experience, stating that what they showed at Gamescom while you were on a mission on the Pinkwater Security Space Station, which is the basically the PMC that you're a part of, that introduction, the way that looked, is there's going to be a lot more of. There's going to be a lot more cutscenes in that similar vein, kind of exploring the world, setting something up, and then you continue from there, which I think, again, is really cool. He states that the first couple of hours of the game are very tight and very linear, but then after that, you get the freedom of choice, and it opens up tremendously where you can explore the solar system, you can decide where you go next, and when you visit these different planets, you're going to have different missions there, different side missions that are optional. You don't have to do them. Maybe that's how you expand some relationships with certain characters. And so it's personal choice. And I think, again, that's really cool because it kind of lets you know that every experience that you do or every playthrough that you do may differ. Now, during the developer interview, during the showcase, they talked a little bit about the visiting of different planets. Now, one thing that I do hope with this is I actually want less. Less is more sometimes. So sometimes you might have a game that is out in the solar system and you explore, right? You're like, oh, I can explore all of the planets and I can go deep and all this and all that. But then because you have all these planets and you have all these things that you're doing, it feels kind of empty, like nothing is out there. And now some would argue that, well, maybe in space it's supposed to feel feel that way. Everything's supposed to feel empty. But if you're playing a video game, you might be hoping that there might be some other stuff out there. So it might feel repetitive, or it might feel like, well, there's no point to visit Pluto because there ain't shit on Pluto. You know what I mean? So I would hope that maybe we can visit a few planets. If you can make it to how we can explore maybe some like a few planets only, not all of them, but make them really detailed, make them feel very different, make the environment feel better. That might be better. That might work better. You get what I'm saying? So that's something that I'm excited for, interested in, and I want to see how they tackle it. I hope that it doesn't feel like bloated, where they just added it just to add it. I really hope that's not the case, because I got a feeling that this game can be really, really good and very interesting. And I think you can put a lot of hours in it, but they don't have to like bloat the game just for fuck's sakes, okay? I can't figure out the fucking words, so I'm gonna just say for fuck's sakes. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. This was something that I kind of had on the back burner since December. I wanted to talk a little bit more of the Expanse, but when, again, I saw that they were gonna do this developer interview over at the game showcase, I was like, you know what, let's wait a little bit and kind of see what happens. So I'm glad I waited. I'm very, very interested in seeing what the Expanse does, what it can bring to the table. And let me know what you guys think about the face cam. If you want it, then I'll keep using it. If not, we'll go back to no fucking face cam.